Welcome to the second installment of Grassroots Gravel Events, where we talk with Erin, the promoter of Robidoux Quick and Dirty in Gering, Nebraska. Please like and share this video so others may learn about this grassroots event that is worth putting on their event list for the upcoming season. As always, don't forget to subscribe to get notified when we upload other new videos. Without further ado, let's get started.
So tonight I've got Erin with Robidoux Quick and Dirty out in western Nebraska with me, and it's an awesome grassroots event that they've been putting on now for a few years. With that, welcome Erin, and look forward to hearing more about Robidoux Quick and Dirty today.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Yeah. I know it's a little chilly out there. I saw your photos from the weekend's ride. A little covered of white stuff out there for you, but still got out and did some miles.
Yep. Just a little bit. It's not too bad. At least the sun was out. It's cold enough to keep the snow nice and hard.
Tell us, first off, how this event started and kind of how long it's been going on, if you don't mind.
For sure. The event, I didn't start the event. I can't take any credit for that. That was Dr. Matthew Hutt here in town. He started it, I want to say 2015 or 2016, if I remember, something like that. And so it's been chugging along ever since. And then, despite 1 year of it being canceled because the roads were closed, there was so much rain, which is why we moved the date, but that's another story. It's been going along since then, and I think this will be my third year kind of involved. I showed up at a bike club meeting one time when me and my wife moved back here, and said I'd like to help out, and we're trying to grow the thing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're, definitely Old West gravel. We're on parts of the Oregon Trail and the Pioneer Trail and indigenous lands, all this kind of stuff, right? So a lot of rich history out here. And we try to highlight that. We pass, you've been on the route, we pass pioneer graves. There's a literal covered wagon from 18 whatever. All this kind of stuff, actual wagon ruts, if you look close at some parts of the course. So that's kind of thing we've got going on.
Everybody's thinking western Nebraska, it's got to be flat, boring. And from someone who's done this event, I've been there every year but the year that we had the blizzard. Attempted to do it the year that we got rained out. So it's not flat. You guys do a great job of bringing in the local hills. So can you tell the group about what that route looks like? Because you did change it up this last year and really got some beautiful scenery in it.
Yep. So, it used to be a 78 and 25 mile route. Obviously the 25 is sort of an intro to gravel, and that route is not super hilly. There might be about 1,000 feet of elevation gain in that one, which I guess for your first gravel event, maybe that seems like a lot. When I was just starting out, it certainly would. But when you move up to the 100-mile event, we go out way south of town, southwest of town, southeast of town, and we've got a lot of, sandstone bluffs. There's a couple climbs in there that are, I think honestly the biggest one, what is it? It's probably Carter Canyon, and it's maybe from the very bottom to the very top, like just over 700 feet. But there's a handful of those, right? And they're not easy climbs. They're all pretty stiff. So I want to say the 100-mile route had like 4,500 feet of climbing or something. That sounds right. So yeah, it's definitely not flat, like you said.
Getting back, we have the 100, the 65, and the 25. On that 65, is it just cutting off going over towards Wyoming? Is that what you do to cut off on that one then?
Yeah, more or less. So, you do all what I think are the best parts of the course, the best parts of the area gravel. You go out towards Wright's Gap, you go behind the Wildcats, come over, by the SRA, and then you head towards the west into the course. But there's a gravel road cutoff along behind Robidoux Pass there, And so you don't get the long slog of pavement as you're coming back towards Robidoux Pass.
Talked about being on the Oregon Trail and some of where the route goes. Some people may not know about Robidoux and where that comes in. So do you mind sharing where that name Robidoux comes from?
Yeah, the Robidoux family was a trapping family. They were, I think, a few of them were with the Rocky Mountain Fur Company, that kind of thing, and they were out of originally Missouri, moved along westward, and some folks went into into Canada, into New Mexico, through Utah. But part of the family, Joseph and Antoine, set up a trading post here in western Nebraska and moved it a couple times. But it was one of the, I want to say, the history is out there. It's pretty cool. But it was sort of a mainstay on the westward route for supplies. And they also, they traded with the native people as well. When I forget the exact conflicts, but a lot of the territory conflicts and this kind of thing, the Robidoux family actually traded pelts, traded guns and weapons for pelts with the native and indigenous populations, and kind of allowed them to defend their lands and that kind of thing. So it gets pretty wild, but there's some definite rich history, and a lot of the remnants are still around, and we ride right by them.
We're going into Wyoming pretty much. So tell us a little bit about where we're at in Nebraska, and also what all you'll see out there on that route.
We are, almost as far west as you can get without being in Wyoming. I ride to Wyoming regularly. It's on pavement or gravel. I mean, within 25 miles, you'll cross the state line. And it's, you're in some of the highest country in Nebraska. A lot of sandstone bluffs, ponderosa pine trees, all this kind of stuff. A lot of public land out here as well, with Wildcat Hills Nature, what is the state recreation area? That's how it's phrased. So a lot of stuff like that going on. And like I said, the land is super rich with a lot of history and everything like that.
Anything else that makes this race unique, do you feel, compared to, I know you've been to a lot of different events, and so what makes RQD, unique to people wanting to come out to the gravel event?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I would say it's probably not super unique in that we're all getting together to ride bikes and have a good time. We try to pride ourselves on remembering all the names of everybody who comes. We're kind of like a lot of other folks. We're not trying to be the biggest name in gravel. That's that I don't think that's ever the goal. But at the same time, like we do want to grow the event and really give back to our community. That's the main thing.
Does it sound like Ashton's going to come again?
Yeah, he's coming out. It would be great to have some bigger names, and I've definitely talked to some folks. I'm still talking to folks now. Schedules are hard, it's difficult, and it's one of those things where, like, they help get the name out for the race, but like that's not why we put the race on, right?
Yep.
It's it'd be cool, but like the person who gets 60th, that's who we're doing the race for, right? Showing them a good time, supporting them out there, that kind of thing. And the same thing goes for like prize purses. We used to have a small prize purse divvied up between folks, and we had talked about bringing that back. And it's like I said, the folks in 50th or 60th place, like that's why we're doing this race. And why would I charge them more for something they're not going to have a shot at, right? So that's sort of the philosophy, I guess, around all that. Even though I'm super thankful that folks like Ashton, pick up on the race and like to come out and ride with us.
Over the last couple of years, you guys moved things out to Five Rocks Amphitheater. That's where you've always started, but in the last couple of years, you've really worked to have something going on afterwards. I know 2020 with COVID and everything, you were still able to put on an event safely. But talk a little bit about what that after ride party get together looks like.
Yeah, for sure. We like to have some live music playing. Fat Tire is with us again there, so we'll have a big stock tank full of beer and ice again, and other non-alcoholic beverages, of course. But really the idea is just to come together, talk about the day. Everybody had their own experience. So even if you and I go out and ride the same route, like we can come back and play some yard games and stuff like that, and talk about your experiences versus mine, and what we got out of the event and stuff like that.
I know this last year you had our good friend Ashton Lambie come out and do the event. I know, and there's quite a few folks that come out from the Front Range over in Colorado. Where all are you guys pulling people in from for this event, and what's it look like for 2021?
So last year, obviously last year was weird. We could talk all day about that. But I think between both last year and also this year, I want to say between like 15, 17 states are represented for both years. And, we have people as far east as Massachusetts, as far south as Texas, Louisiana, folks from Salt Lake and California. I mean, we pull kind of from everywhere. The cool thing, I think a lot of those folks like yourself have a connection to the area. And maybe we're showing them a new side to town and the country and everything like that.
So as we're out there doing our races and enjoying the scenery, what do the families have to do there in the Panhandle of Scottsbluff and Gering while everyone else is out racing? What do you guys have going on?
For sure. If you want to keep it hyper local, there's just right at Five Rocks. There's playgrounds for the kiddos. This year, I'm gonna get a pump track going, kind of in the parking lot, right there outside of the gate. The city has cleared us to do that. It won't be a permanent structure. It'll just be for the weekend, but we're gonna, a few weeks before and to get it nice and hard. So bring the kids' bikes, all that kind of stuff. We've got yard games and music playing even while people are out on course. If you want to venture further out and hit up the town, I think on Saturday there'll be the 18th Street Farmers Market. That's actually in Scottsbluff. There's also the Legacy of the Plains Museum, which is kind of local history with respect to agriculture and everything along those lines. It's a pretty cool thing. They've got a lot of stuff for kids to do over there. Riverside Discovery Center is the local zoo. Every kiddo loves zoos, right? So there's all that kind of stuff going on. Of course, there's city pools. There's the Scottsbluff National Monument to go hike. That's right around the corner from where we are. And again, Wildcat Hills SRA. There's a ton of stuff if you want to check it out. We've got all that stuff listed on the website too.
Okay, perfect. And I'll make sure I link the website in the notes for us so that people can look it up. If you're a history buff or enjoy any of the history, you're not far from Chimney Rock. Everyone knows Chimney Rock. Yep. What is that, probably 10 miles away?
A little further. 15? I want to say probably around 20. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see when you guys head out that way. With the cars.
It hasn't gone without thought. That's for sure. It gets kind of tricky. We don't want to. We want to avoid pavement, right? And there's a couple sections. There's these two bluffs that just sit like in between the highway and the Wildcat Hills. Like if you're riding eastbound on the very first part of the course along the bluffs there, and you look to the east, there's those two buttes, and there's a road that goes right between them, but that's private. It's a private road, and it's all overgrown. Like, I don't think you could ride a bike there very efficiently. And so trying to figure out ways through there, like, you'd have to figure that out before you could get all the way over there. But thinking about it.
All right, that would be a good time. I know it would take it a little bit different way, but definitely be scenic there. So
yeah.
Every area of the country has different gravel. So what's gravel like in western Nebraska?
It's a little bit of everything. And depending on the day, it could totally be different. We've got really fast hard pack, depending on the conditions. So there's anything from that, you could be riding along the flats and keeping a cool 25 miles an hour, no problem, to 6 inches deep of pea gravel that they just laid down. Lots of sand in places. There was some sand pits last year because it was so dry. Luckily, we got some rain about a week beforehand, which kind of calmed things down. This year we'll actually be incorporating some single track coming back over the Wildcats. Haven't talked much about that, but we're actually going out there on Monday morning to kind of determine exactly where and what we want to do. But that's on the list and is more or less approved at this point too. So that'll be a fun addition.
I guess I'm going to have to touch up on some single track skills.
Yeah, there's always ideas floating around, right? So we're trying to do what we can with the time we have.
Definitely. Now, talk a little bit about the bicycle club out there and how you guys are involved and what some of your missions are with that club.
For sure. Really the overarching goal of the club is to help make cycling and active living in general more accessible to folks in town. That could be supporting like pathway projects. It could be advocating for, bike lanes or youth programs, anything like that. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. Time has been weird lately. We got, I want to say, 3 or 4 mobile repair stations put in around town along the pathway and, by parks, that kind of thing for folks to use just to make it, break down some barriers, right?
So are some of the proceeds from the event helping to put those things in and help with that mission?
Yeah. So, anything that doesn't go directly back into the race is actually just sits in our club fund. And that's sort of the whole idea is to fund all of our projects with revenue from the race.
Okay. So since this event started, now 2021 will be your 6th year. So in the past 5 years, have you seen an increase in the number of people on bikes since this event started?
Oh, for sure. And I'm probably not the best person to talk about that. I ride solo a lot just because my schedule is like it is. But if you go talk to JR or Justin down at Sunny's Bike Shop, they'll tell you that the RQD has helped them sell bikes or gotten new people on bikes, which is pretty cool.
That's fantastic. I'll have to admit, I bought my first bike from Sunny's, and I just sold my one I bought coming out of high school not too long ago to someone here local in Kansas City, and so it's still floating around. So you couldn't put this event on without volunteers. Talk a little bit about your volunteers and any sponsors that you have that help put on this event also.
For sure. We've got, of course, the club members, that kind of thing. Everybody has kind of their own role. A lot of the heavy lifting is done by Matt and myself. But we need, like you said, volunteers, and we need people to coordinate the volunteers. We need a safety plan in place. So we've got kind of folks in charge of all that stuff going on, and throughout the year working on stuff. And to your point, local sponsors, a few of those Benzel Pest Control would be one of them. They're great supporters of the cause, looking to get more people on bikes. And even though their business isn't directly related to kind of what we're doing, like I said, they're a huge supporter. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Like I said, Fat Tire, even though they're not local, again, they're supportive of the cause and they like what we're doing. The majority of the sponsor stuff has yet to kind of be hammered out, just because 2021 is still kind of in limbo, I think. But there's a lot of good conversations taking place, and we're appreciative of everybody's support, and we want to support them, and likewise. So.
All right. So what's the race date for this coming year?
June 20th. It's on a Sunday. And so, June 19th, we'll have some group rides going on, and our packet pickup in downtown Gering. And then Sunday morning racers are off starting at 7.
Where's the easiest way, or where can they register at, and how long do they have to register?
So just right through the website is the best part. There's plenty of buttons that say register kind of all over the place. Click on any of them. They'll take you to bike sign up, and you can click whichever distance you want to get in on. It's up till it's full, more or less. We're capping at 600 this year, and I want to say roughly halfway there when I looked last. So yeah, there's plenty of spots left to get in on.
Fantastic. How many riders did you have participate in 2020?
Yeah, 2020 was odd. I think we had 390 registered before the shenanigans started to unfold, and our cap was at 400. And then people, rightly so, transferred or took a refund. We had a refund option, and that kind of thing. And there was a whole crew of folks that just didn't come and didn't tell us, which is, I get it. It was a wild year. We had to change the date. So I think we wound up with, 180 at the starting line, which, that's probably for the better, right? Like that made everything a little bit easier on, not only the riders to keep distance from each other and everything like that, but also our volunteers. So it's that's the story.
All right. For the year that was, you never knew what to expect the whole way, and I think you guys did a great job at handling how to show that you could have an event, meet all the criteria across the different communities within the state, and so it really was a safe event, I felt, as a participant, and everyone seemed to have a good time. I don't know, what kind of feedback have you gotten over the last couple of years that you've been working with it about the event?
The feedback's always super positive, and I think we're super low key. It's a really relaxed atmosphere, not super serious. We want everybody to have a good time. You can make of it what you will, and that's kind of the vibe that we try to put out into the world, and that seems to be what people are picking up. So, and the feedback's been good. We always welcome constructive criticism for sure. So,
oh, definitely. So, anything else you want to tell the tubes about Quick and Dirty, the Panhandle of Nebraska, or anything like that?
No, just come check it out. Even if you don't want to register for an event, hit us up. Happy to take you on a ride, show you some cool stuff, and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. They do a great job. There's a lot of things to see out there. If you're not able to make it for the event, I'll highly say go out, ride. You're going to find some hills. You're going to get challenged, but you're also going to have some great scenery to see as you go along. And I'll say the race has really helped bring us some more, views to the area. I know we've got what is it, Monument Marathon out there that's really helped out, and this is starting to add to it. So great job.
Definitely. Thanks. Appreciate it.